BVP, Ben's most valuable players every week, top 5 across both leagues. So let's get to it. Very similar lineup this week. Not going to give anything away, but let's start with number 5, Luis Arraez.
Look, I think it's to the point with Luis Arraez, who's currently hitting .398. We have to have him in the MVP conversation. We just have to. And I understand, like, everybody wants to talk about the Ronald Acuñas of the world and how much power he has and this and that. But if a guy's going to hit 400 on a season, he has to get MVP votes. He has to be in that conversation. And right now, he's still flirting with that 400 mark, and we absolutely have to put him in that MVP conversation.
And at number 4, the third favorite for NL MVP, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, Freddie Freeman. So same 5 and 4 so far this week. I love Freddie Freeman. He's still hitting well over 300 with good power as well. So Freddie Freeman in the MVP conversation. You said he's the third favorite?
Uh-huh.
I feel good about my top 5 then this week.
Yeah, you know your second favorite, the second favorite for NL MVP? Number 3
is the number 2 favorite for NL MVP, which is Corbin Carroll, who, look, this past week we saw him go 2 games without getting a hit, went 0 for 10, and everybody was like, oh, here he back down to earth. And then, no, he's picked it right back up. He's having a fantastic year. 17 homers, 24 stolen bases, all while hitting for a high average as well. His OPS is just behind Ronald Acuña, and he's right ahead of Freddie Freeman now in terms of OPS. So he does it all. You know, I could go on about Corbin Carroll forever, but you know, I started a campaign for Corbin Carroll on Twitter this week to make the All-Star game, and his mom retweeted it. The Diamondbacks retweeted it. It was great.
Oh, I love it so much. Okay, well, let's go on to number 2. We spent a lot of time talking about him today. He is the clear NL MVP favorite right now, Ronald Acuña Jr.
Yeah, I mean, what more is there to say about this guy? He is on pace for a 40-70 season. Woo! And I think he might be one off we're like right at the midway point, right now, and he's at 19 homers. So nobody come after me, Ben, 19's not on pace for 40. I get it. He is right on pace for the first 40-70 season in history. It would also be the first 30-70 season in history. It would also be the first 30-60 season in history. He's doing things that nobody has come close to doing right now, and he is for sure and should be the odds-on favorite to win the NL MVP as of right now.
And apparently his chains weigh 25 pounds, which
Strider.
That's heavy.
He wears 20 pounds of chains and is just the most ridiculous athlete on planet Earth.
All right, your number 1, the unicorn, Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, I mean, look, Shohei Ohtani is the best player in the game right now. The game he had the other night, it was on Tuesday night, he accrued almost a 1 WAR in that game alone. Just to clarify, a 10 WAR season has only happened a few times. It's elite. A 10 WAR season is an incredible season. Yeah. He had almost 1 WAR, I believe it was 0.8 or 0.9, in one night. And in that game, he pitched, he struck out 10, he hit 2 homers in that game. First player since Jack Stivitz of the Toledo Mommies to do something like he did that night in 1890. Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball. He's the greatest athlete in the world right now. The number 1 in my BVP is Shohei Ohtani.
Same lineup as last week?
This is the same last week. Yeah. And
you guys are doing well.
We talked about it at the beginning of the year. Like, you know, at the beginning, there's a lot of disparity at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
The cream rises to the top, and at a certain point, it's going to stabilize, and we'll see. I'm sure we'll have a few names switching here at some point. But
maybe. But these are the favorites.
We're starting
these are
to see the cream rise.
Is it all National League and then just American League, Ohtani?
Yeah, the American League is a runaway. And it's not and unfortunately, you know, Aaron Judge was in here for a while. He had to get moved out because he hasn't played. Jordan Alvarez was in here for a while. He got moved out due to injury. So
that's fair.
The American League, this is the heaviest favorite in the history before, the heaviest favorite for an MVP before the halfway mark of the season ever. I mean,
the second favorite is Corey Seager right now. So Ohtani's it's looking good for Shohei Ohtani again this year.